All right. Let me go ahead and get rid of this. I definitely won't need this in a minute. So today is going to be a standing workout. We're going to start just by warming up a little bit, starting with some gentle arm swings, keeping your feet in one position, letting your upper body do most of the work right now. And then if everything's feeling good, maybe start going a little bit faster. Swinging a little bit further. If everything's still feeling good, start picking up your feet, turning even further. Letting your whole body go. And then a couple really good ones, nice and vigorous. Really let your arms fly out. And then bring that all back in. From here, we're going to move into our shoulder rotations. So nice big circles, as long as it doesn't hurt your shoulders. You can always do smaller ones if you have any limitations there. And go the other way. And then throw them in and out a little bit. Really loosen up your back. Beautiful. Now we're going to move on to our elbows, make some nice big circles. There you go, you got it. And then go the other way with your arms. Still just loosening everything up, bringing a little motion into those joints before we start putting them to work. All right, moving down to the wrists. You do figure eights with your hands. Beautiful. And then just kind of wiggle your fingers in and out. All right, from here, we're going to move down to our lower bodies. So feet out a little bit wider, some nice big hip rotations. And go the other way. Perfect. Now from here, we're going to bring our feet back in close together, and you're going to just start popping your knees forward and back. Again, just checking in, loosening up the joints, making sure everything's working right this morning. And then if that feels okay, go ahead and start moving them in circles. Do that slowly at first, check in. Not everybody's knees appreciate that. If yours don't, stick with that back and forth. If you're going in circles, go the other direction. Beautiful. And then from here, we're going to move down to our ankles. So grab a chair, a wall, whatever you need for support. You're just going to pick one foot up. Spin that ankle around in circles. And then go the other way. And then switch feet. And go the other way on that one. Beautiful. And then give everything a good shake. Just make sure that you don't have any tight points. Pay attention, check in with your body. If there's anything that pinches or any stabbing pains while you're doing any of the moves today, go ahead and just ease off, maybe put the weights down. You can always modify anything that you need to. All right, we are going to start today with a deadlift plus a hammer curl. So for a deadlift, the most important thing is to keep your back straight. So I'm going to demonstrate empty hand first. You're reaching down towards the floor, but you don't have to make it to the floor. As far as you can go while keeping your back nice and straight. And then from there, you're going to come up, and that's where we're going to add in the hammer curl. So with the weights, down for the deadlift, up for the hammer curl. All right, we have 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Down for the deadlift, up for the hammer curl. Beautiful. I do this one with a little bit heavier weight, just because that deadlift really is good for working the lower body. Big muscles need big weights. Looking good. We're more than halfway there already. Less than 20 seconds to go. Nice and steady. When you're focused on strength training, slow is usually better. All right, time. From here, we're going to go into a side lunge with an overhead press. Now, I go to my medium weights for this one, but whatever you like to do is good for you. So for the side lunge, you're going to step out as low as works for your knee. My knees tend to be a little cranky, so this is about as low as I go. Come back to center, do your overhead press. Then go to the other side, back to center, overhead press. All right, we've got 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. So rack the weights, step out to one side, back to center, and up. Beautiful. If you're using lighter weights and you want to go a little faster, you certainly can. But the goal with building strength is to fatigue the muscle, and slow controlled movements usually do that better. More than halfway there already. Looking good. Five more seconds. And time. Beautiful. All right, next up, we have a calf raise into a tricep extension. So for this one, you're gonna have just one dumbbell. Oh, my weights are coming loose. And you're gonna hold it behind your head, supporting it like this. So you're gonna keep your elbows in nice and tight, lower it down, and come back up. That's the tricep extension part. For the calf raise, you're just coming up on your heels. So when you put it all together, you lower it down, the weight comes up, your heels come up. Just like that. Beautiful. All right, we've got 1 minute. Here we go. The weight comes up, heels come up. If you can do a little pause at the top of that calf raise, holding the weight up, pause at the top, squeeze everything in. That'll give you a little extra oomph on that one. If your shoulders or your elbows don't like the tricep extension, you can try doing it with lighter weight or even no weight, or even just focus on the calf raise and leave off the tricep extension. Beautiful. Just a few more seconds. And time. All right, next up, we have a squat hold with a Russian twist. So a squat hold, you're just squatting and holding it. To add in the twist, you're gonna take your weight, and just like if you were on the floor, you're just bringing it across your body towards your hip. The goal here is to get good movement through your core and really work those side muscles. All right, we've got 1 minute. Here we go. That squat can be a challenge to hold for the full minute. If you need to stretch your legs out, go right ahead. And this one is an easy one to up the work level on as well, because if you feel like you're not doing enough work, you can always just drop that squat a little lower. Looking good. Twenty more seconds. My philosophy is that all movement is good movement as long as it doesn't hurt. But if it hurts, definitely modify. Otherwise, just keep going with what works for you. And time. All right. The next one we're going to do is a chest exercise. I do this one with light weights. A lot of women especially don't tend to have as much upper body musculature, so this one can be a little hard. So I'm going to go all the way down to my 5s. You're going to hold the weights out towards your side and then bring them up towards the middle, just like that. So up and in like you're making an upside down V in the air. You want to bring them up to about shoulder height. If you go a little higher, that's okay, but you don't want to be swinging them up over your head. Too much risk of injuring the shoulder joint. All right, 1 minute, here we go. Control the motion in both directions. This is where strength training differs a little from cardio. The goal is not to go fast and swing your arms nice and big, but to have controlled movements so that you're working the muscle in both directions. Now, if this one bothers your elbows or your shoulders, again, you can set the weights down and do it empty hand. Just do it nice and slow. So you're still getting that work on the muscle. 15 more seconds. Misread my timer. Almost there. And time. Beautiful. All right, the last one we're gonna do is a row. So that's gonna work our back muscles. We're gonna focus just on one arm at a time, and we're gonna do 30 seconds on each side. So for the row, you're gonna have one leg in front, one leg behind, leaning forward, and you can support yourself on your knee with your hand or your elbow, depending on how far you're leaning. Again, focusing on that nice flat back, and then you're just pulling up, pulling the weight like you're pulling it up to your armpit. We're gonna do 30 seconds on each side. All right, here we go. Nice straight back. And you don't have to pull it all the way up, just pull to wherever your range of motion allows. Focus on trying to squeeze your shoulder blade in towards the center. 5 more seconds on this side. And switch. Beautiful. Keep your head and neck in a straight line with your back, so you should be looking down towards the floor. And time. All right, that was our first set. So go grab some water, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna do all of that again. All right, bring it back in, ladies. So going into our second set, if you did any modifications and you want to go ahead and just start out with those on the next round of exercises, feel free. If you feel like you need heavier or lighter weight, go ahead and make those adjustments. And then we're going to do exactly the same 6 exercises. Starting out with the deadlift into the hammer curl. Again, that's the one with the nice flat back. So you're going down and then coming up and doing that hammer curl. 1 minute, here we go. Looking good. The main difference between a hammer curl and a bicep curl is that with a bicep curl, you're turning your palm out. With a hammer curl, your palm remains facing sideways in towards your body. And it just works the bicep muscles a little bit differently. Ten more seconds. And time. Beautiful. All right, next up we have the side lunge with the overhead press. And again, that's the one where you rack the weights on your shoulder, step out for your side lunge, come back to center, and press up. All right, 1 minute, here we go. Lunge as deep or as shallow as is appropriate for your knees. You got it, keep going. Halfway there. Beautiful. Twenty more seconds. Raising and lowering the weights with control. Working the muscle in both directions. And time. Perfect. All right, you guys are doing fantastic. Next up, we have the calf raise with the tricep extension. That's the one where we're holding the weight behind our head so the weight comes down. And then as it goes up, you throw in that calf raise. If it bothers your shoulders or your elbows, just leave the tricep extension off and focus just on the calf raise. Keeping your core nice and tight, like you're sucking your belly button back toward your spine. Beautiful. Remember to add in that little pause at the top, if your balance allows, for a little extra work. Almost there. And time. All right, from here we have the squat hold with the Russian twist. If your squat was a little too deep and hard to hold last time, make it a little shallower. If it felt good, but you maybe want a little more, just drop that squat down a little lower this time. We have 1 minute on the clock. Find what squat's gonna work for you and start twisting. Just bring in that weight right through the center and then down to your hip on each side. Looking good. Still trying to keep that tummy nice and tight, pulling your belly button in towards your spine. "15 seconds to go. Almost there. Oh, I feel the burn in my legs. And time. All right, shake those legs out for a second. And then next up we have those upward flies. So maybe stop, grab a little bit lighter weights if you have them, because those are the ones that come from the side up towards the middle in the upside down V. Make sure you keep a soft bend in your elbows the whole time. You don't want to lock them out. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Good control in both directions. Make sure that muscle is working as much as possible so we can really fatigue it and get good growth. Halfway there. Still trying to keep that tummy nice and tight. And make sure you're still breathing. Don't hold your breath. Almost there. And time. All right, our last one for this set is those single arm rows. So 30 seconds on each side. Whichever leg is in front, the opposite arm is what starts. And then I'll tell you to switch at the halfway mark. So you're finding a nice flat back, and wherever that flat back is for you and your range of motion is fine. 1 minute, here we go. Just pulling it up towards your armpit and squeezing that shoulder blade in. Halfway there on this side. Switching in 5 seconds. And switch sides. And go straight into the other side. Looking down towards the floor, head, neck, and back, all in a nice straight line. 10 more seconds on this side. And time. All right, that's another set down. Grab some water, shake everything out a little, and then we have 1 set left to go. All right, bring it back in. All right, last set, same exercises. If your muscles are starting to get fatigued, you can go ahead and modify as needed, put the weights down maybe. You can do all of these exercises empty hand as well. If you're still feeling good, you want maybe a little more, add a little weight if you've got it. All right, first up we have the deadlift into the hammer curl. 1 minute, here we go. Still focusing on that nice flat back. Keeping the head and neck and back all in a straight line. And as you're standing up, drive through your heels so you get a lot of work in your lower body there. 20 seconds to go on this one. Almost there. And time. All right, from here we go into the side lunge with the overhead press. 1 minute, starting now. You guys look fantastic. Nice and controlled. Lower the weights down with just as much control as you raise them. Twenty seconds left. Almost there. And time. All right, next up we have the calf raise with the tricep extension. So grab one single weight and here we go. Behind your head, lower it down, and then as it comes up, throw in that calf raise. The key for a really good tricep workout here is keeping those elbows in tight to your head. Looking good. More than halfway there already. Almost there. And time. All right, next up is our squat hold with our Russian twist. So still staying with that one single dumbbell. 1 minute on the clock. Oh no, not 2 minutes. 1 minute, definitely. 1 minute, here we go. Letting your core do most of the work here. So your arms are mostly staying in the same spot. It's your torso and shoulders that are doing the twisting here. By the third set, my squat's usually not quite as deep, and that's okay. If you're still feeling awesome and you want to drop that squat down low, go for it. But if your legs are starting to get a little tired, a shallower squat is just fine. And time. All right, we are back to our upward flies. I'm going down to my nice lightweight on this one. 1 minute on the clock. Here we go. Bringing them up towards the middle, making that V shape. Slow and steady. Keeping a soft bend in your elbows the whole time. You got it. More than halfway there. Still keeping that tummy tucked in nice and tight. You're gonna move a little bit with this one, but you don't wanna be like rocking back and forth really big. And time. All right, last one, our single arm rows. Go ahead and find the position that works for you. We have 30 seconds on each side. Here we go. Nice flat back, head and neck in a straight line with your back. Pulling the weight up towards your armpit and squeezing your shoulder blade in. 5 more seconds on this side. And switch. Almost there. Ten more seconds. You got this. You can do anything for 10 seconds. And time. Whew, beautiful. All right. You guys are all done with the workout. Go grab some water and then we'll do a quick stretch. All right, bring it back in. For our stretch, we're going to start with our feet about hip width apart. Take a nice deep breath. Sweep your arms up overhead. And then you're going to lean to one side. Come back to center. Lean to the other side. Come back to center. If it feels good, add in a little back bend. And then you're going to fold all the way forward, reaching down towards whatever's in your range, floor, feet, shins. Just let everything hang down as far as it wants to go. Let your head get heavy. Let gravity help stretch you out for just a second. And then you're going to come up just enough so your hands are off the floor and swing your arms gently in small circles in one direction. Massaging out that shoulder joint just a little. And then in the other direction. And then with a nice generous bend in your knees, you're going to roll all the way up. Shrug your shoulders up and roll them down and back. Take one arm and bring it across your body, pulling it in until you get a good stretch. And then you're going to look over that shoulder. And then maybe if it feels good, tilt your head down, bring your nose towards your shoulder. Get a little extra stretch through your neck while we're here. Bring your head back up in the center and then release. And then we're going to go to the other side. So get that good stretch through the front of your shoulder first. Then turn your head and look over your shoulder. And then maybe if it feels good, bring your nose down towards your shoulder. All right, bring your head back up into center and then release. Swing your arms just a little. Perfect. From here, we're going to take our left foot and step forward. You're going to peel those toes up, get a good stretch through the back of your leg. And if you'd like, you can kind of lean forward to bring it through the back of the thigh as well as the calf. Maybe even reach down towards that foot and pull on those toes to add a little extra stretch, only if it feels good. Beautiful. From there, we're going to plant that foot and come all the way back up and go to the other side. Put the right foot out, peel those toes back, lean forward if it feels good, Maybe grab that foot. And release. Come all the way back up. And you guys are all done. All right, you guys did fantastic today.